Hey guys, and welcome to my second Legion TD2 guide. And boy, am I happy that I'm not a goddamn YouTuber. Like, no offense, but being a YouTuber is actually pretty damn hard. Like, I very much prefer to be a streamer and to just, yeah, say whatever I feel like. Because on YouTube, I don't know. Whenever I try to record a video, this is actually why it was taking me so long, by the way, to make the second guide. Is yeah, I go ahead and I start it up, and then I record like 1 or 2 minutes. And then I say something really dumb, and then I'm like, oh shit, okay, I better restart the recording now. And then it goes from the start again, and then at some point, everything I say just feels staged, and then I kind of have to redo it all over again, and oh my god, this is driving me crazy. So, yeah, you know me, I'm pretty much just natural and in my stream, like, I'm all about my emotions and shit, so yeah, I decided to not let my YouTube be staged, and that's why I'm saying this to you now. And yeah, before I talk too much about that shit, let's just go into the guide, right? So this one is actually about elements. Kind of told you that already, and the build that I'm going to show you was made by King Duns, who's another very high-rated player in Legion TD2. So credit for that goes to him. This video is actually going to be a lot shorter than the Forsaken one I made. Mostly because in the Forsaken one, I was actually also talking about some very general things regarding the game. Stuff like when you're not getting any sense, you should stop to worker and just get more value out. And that on some points you can actually get away with less value when your opponent is just income sending or has no workers and shit like that. So all of that stuff I'm not going to be mentioning here. I'm just going to show you the guide that King Duns has sent to me. And yeah, it's mostly just basic positioning things. Like, I'm going to show you what you can do for each wave and how the build evolves. But how much of that you actually end up doing is up to you. Like, you will notice that, especially in the early game, you will most likely need a lot less than I show you here. Like, at some points, King suggests to build a lot more than necessary. Which is the same reason why I did it in my Forsaken guide, and that is that we don't want you to leak. But I actually received the feedback that through this overbuilding in the early game, it was actually kind of hard for some people to keep up with the guide, as in they did not get enough income to actually continue building it. And like one guy, for example, lost track at like wave 9, I think it was, because for that he needed like, I don't know, 150 plus income to keep up with the guide. And that, yeah, obviously, if you just follow the guide literally step by step by step, you might actually run into some trouble. It always depends. Like, not all games are the same. Sometimes the games are really fast because there's lots of fast clears going on, like high DPS and no leaks. And then there is obviously less income in the game. And then there's games where there's like massive leaks all over the place, every single round, and it's like very slow clears with lots of tanks and regenerating units such as Bone Crusher and shit, and the game just goes on forever, and then you have crazy income. Then it's obviously a lot easier to follow the guide. So what I wanted to say is that you should just take this as a basic guideline to like how to position my fighters, but you do not always have to build exactly what I say every single wave. Like, you want to try to actually maximize your income, maximize your workers without leaking. So whenever you have issues following along the guide, then you kind of gotta ask yourself why. Like, why can I not follow along anymore? And most likely the answer is that you built too much early on and got your workers too late. Because the earlier you get your workers, yeah, the more effective they become, obviously, because, yeah, you know, you're harvesting more Mythium with them when you have them earlier, like on the long run, and thus you gain more income. And income is pretty damn snowbally, so the earlier you get your workers, the better. But yeah, let's just go right into the guide again, and just as with the Forsaken guide, I'm not going to show you how many workers you need each wave, because that's very individual. Like, it really depends on like the pace of the game and shit. So I'm just going to show you the basic positioning, and I'm actually reading this from the Discord. He sent me some screenshots, so don't mind me if I look over, because I don't actually have it all in my head. So we're starting with a fire elemental, which we're going to place like in the middle of the lane, just from top bot. It's right in the middle on the left side. I'm going to upgrade it to a fire elemental. The Fire Elemental has a spell called Combustion, so each time it attacks, his attack actually bounces to a nearby enemy, and it it actually applies a debuff, which deals 50 magic damage over time, like over 2 seconds. So this is very, very powerful in the early game, like especially at wave 3, for example. I think this dot actually, I don't know, I think it needs like 2 times the dot and the creep's dead. So it's very, 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 very strong, which is why we want to do it very early on. So for wave 1, that's basically all you need. For wave 2, it's actually the same. You don't need to build anything for wave 2. Like sometimes when you're very unlucky, you can leak to 40 lithium on wave 2, but that pretty much never happens. Though if you want to be safe, you can already build the proton because it doesn't really matter. So for wave 2, you can build the proton, and yeah, then you're going to be safe. You're going to split it once again, just as in the Forsaken guide. Splitting is a very efficient way to yeah, get away with less value than you actually need when you have builds that don't resolve around AoE, because you're fighting less creeps at once with your main army, which is going to be centered on the left side, and yeah, those creeps are basically just distracted. I mean, if you have seen like 300, for example, the movie, where 300 Spartans, I don't know the English word, I'm sorry, fight like a huge ass army of, I don't know who they were, but like 10,000s, but they were just fighting them one by one. And that's basically what we want to do with the split. Like we are luring the main army, like the main part of the enemy wave to here, and then we're going to fight them one by one on the left side. This also makes our fighters have better focus, like they will all they are more likely to all attack the same target. Okay, so much to the general stuff. So for wave 3, what you want to do is that you add 3 protons right here, and that should easily hold a brood. You will have no problem with that. I actually tested that, and I do that quite often when I play Mastermind myself. So this is fine for wave 3. Then for wave 4, yeah, okay, for wave 4, you take this proton right here and upgrade it into an atom. And actually, that's all you need. So for wave 5, this is probably quite an overbuild. He suggests you to go 1 aqua here, and then a Windhawk, and you go like from here, 1 to the right and 1 down. You place it right here. So this is more likely one part where it's actually more than necessary. Like I know, for example, that this can hold like a 60 cent, unless it's like a brood and the brood goes right on the Fire Elemental, then you can leak. But this is very capable of holding like 40 to 60 cents. So if you get a full cent on 4 and round 4 is not too long, this is a part where you can like get more workers and yeah, you know, just maximize your income a little bit. But yeah, the guide is with this. So with this you can hold a rather big cent, I guess. And then for wave 6, you want to upgrade the Aqua Spirit you have here into a Rogue Wave. The Rogue Wave also has a spell, it's called Delusion. So it also bounces, just like all Aquas do. And it actually amplifies the spell damage taken by 20%. So that obviously increases the damage made by the combustion from the Fire Elemental. So that's a pretty good combo. So yeah, you do this, and then I think for wave 7... Right. See, I'm sorry. As I said, I'm reading this from Discord. Okay, so for wave 7, you take a Mudman and you place it right here. So that now that the split is actually half step ahead of this one, actually most of the wave will go onto the right side. So your Fire Elemental is only going to tank a little and not as much as before, which is because the damage of the wave actually increases. And this is once again a part where you can actually get away with just this. Like most of the time, I think with this guy, you can actually get away with what was suggested for the previous wave, but only, and really only, if you do not get a big cent. Like, wait, let's see. So I think like if you get, I don't know, just a casual 60 recent, that's, I'm pretty damn sure this should hold too, but we'll see. As I said, I'm trying to make this video not as long as the last one, which is not why I'm not showing every single wave. Okay, so here the Atom goes in front and tanks a little bit, and the Fire Elemental actually tanks them too. Now the fire elemental takes this side of the wave, and now that all of this is dead, they actually focus on the rogue wave. So yeah, this is why you make the split. So you want the fire elemental to tank at the start, and then the right side kind of takes over. And as you can see, it's perfectly able to holding here too. But yeah, as I said, if you need to get a bigger send, and as the guide suggests, you want the Mudman here. So for wave 8, what you do is simply you add another Windhawk, because the Rogue Wave fire elemental is actually very strong on wave 8. Same here, you can probably get away with less, but if you want to be safe, then you add this. So for wave 9, you upgrade the Mudman into a Golem. This is a very, very solid build. Like, if you get a big send here, that's what you want to be doing. You can hold it very, very easily. It's pretty decent value. And if you're very, very scared of wave 9, you can also use the harden ability of the Golem, which makes it so that it takes 10% less damage for one wave. But the downside to this is that in the next wave, like in the wave after that, it actually takes 10% more damage. So you got to be really careful when using this, because if you think, for example, your enemy saves on 9, and then you harden, and your enemy doesn't send on 9, but instead on 10, well, you're gonna have a problem. So you got to be very careful with this. And if in doubt at the start, probably just not use it. I don't know, because it can backfire pretty hard. But that's something that you'll get used to. So for wave 10, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you add a Disciple here. Yes, you add a Disciple here and a Windhawk here. That's once again a lot of value, so here you should be pretty damn fine. You can probably also hold with this if you don't get a big send, but if you get a big send, you want to go like that. And same thing here again, you want to harden if you expect a big send. So for wave 11. For wave 11, you upgrade this one into Violet, and that's all you need. That's actually not that much, so here's another point where you can push quite a few workers. It's also where you get your Legion spells. So for wave 12, you upgrade those two into Violets. And yeah, that's it. That should be holding once again. Yeah, as usual with the Golem, when you get a big send, you want to harden. For wave 13, you take a Fire Lord, and you place it right here. Like, you go from those two, one diagonal to the right. You place it here, because later on we want to place a Disciple here and the second Fire Lord and Phoenix there, so that all of those 4 get the aura. Same here, like Disciple, sorry for not explaining this. Disciple is actually an aura unit, so it increases the spell damage dealt and the mana regeneration by 15%, yeah, when you upgrade it into Starcaller, obviously. And it only buffs the units that it directly touches, which is why we are building the Violets around this thing. So the Violets, once we build this into Starcaller, will actually get buffed, and hence do more damage with the spell and regenerate more mana. Yeah, the Violet spell, I kind of forgot that one too. I'm very sorry. The spell that it does is that it shocks up to 5 nearby enemies for 140 magic damage, and it does that every single time that it has full mana. So it's actually quite a bit of burst once you have more of those, and the Starcaller will only make this a lot stronger. So with the Fire Lord on wave 13, you're going to use it as a tank, because it has an ability which is called Mana Shield, or Molten Shield actually, I'm sorry. Molten, wait, why does it call, okay, whatever, it's Molten Shield, it's a Fire Lord, right? So yeah, with his mana, he actually absorbs 50% of the incoming damage for each attack, but every time that happens, he loses some mana. So yeah, what that means is that you want to give him time to actually regenerate his mana. So he's not supposed to tank the entire wave. You want to go, you want him to tank only some creeps so that he uses his mana efficiently, which is why we're placing him like this. So some of the wave will go onto the Golem, and some of the wave will go onto the Fire Lord. And the Violets are also going to tank some damage. This is actually something that I want to show you now on wave 13. Let's see. So here, as you can see, wait, I forgot something, right? Oh, yeah. Okay. Don't mind me. I was like, yeah, wait. As soon as I saw the wave approaching to this side, I was like, yeah, I forgot something. Because the thing is, with splitting, the wave will always approach whatever is the closest to them. And since this golem was actually like half a spot below the Fire Lord, and the Fire Lord is more towards the middle, so when the wave approaches here, obviously the distance to this is a lot shorter than the distance to this. So to compensate for that, you need to place a proton here. This is actually very crucial. If you do not do this, you're going to have some big trouble on 13. Because that split is massively important. Okay, so wave 13 again. Okay, this time around it should be working. I'm going to promise you it's working now. Let's see. Okay, see now 2 of those go here. And for some reason they're not actually going on the Fire Lord. That's very unfortunate. Well, when I tested this just a couple days ago, it worked just fine because I kind of positioned it similarly to this myself. That might be because there is no sense. I don't know. Anyway, still works pretty fine. So, okay. Okay, so for wave 14, what is he doing for 14? Okay, so this is the time where you get your Starcaller to boost up your violets and make the Disciple himself a little bit stronger. He also does pierce damage, which is very good on 14. So it's just a pretty solid unit all around. And then you build another Windhawk here. So you're once again fine for 14. And then for wave 15, you take the Fire Lord and you upgrade it into a Phoenix. The Phoenix is pretty similar to the Fire Lord, only that it absorbs 75% of the damage taken, not just 50. And he actually gets more damage the lower mana he is. So yeah, once again, this is a unit that you want to tank some damage, but you don't want it to tank the entire wave, because then it would just die. But it has to take some damage in order to unleash its full potential, because it deals more damage with low mana. So let's just hope this works right here. And I did not forget anything. Let's see. No, I did not forget anything. Okay, for wave 15, I'm actually going to send me some shit now. It's just some minor shit. I mean, that should be holding. Okay, so Phoenix is tanking some. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is exactly what we want. See, some of the wave is going onto the Phoenix, and now it actually deals lots of mana. It has time to regenerate, and it's just tanking some creeps, and it's continuously on low mana and dishes out tons of damage. That is very, very awesome. Okay, so yeah, this build is obviously working pretty damn good, because it was made by King Duns. As I said, he's also a very, very good player. So for wave 16, what he does for 16. Okay, so for 16, he upgrades this one into Violet, and then he places 2 Disciples here. They also profit of the Starcaller aura, obviously. It's their spell. Oh, damn, I forgot that one again, huh? Yeah, they have a mana burst, which deals 300 pure damage, so that pierces through all the different armor types and defenses, so it always just does flat 300 damage no matter what. And yeah, the better, like with the mana regeneration and the amplified damage, it obviously deals a lot more. So, okay, no. Okay, nah, god damn it, I'm so fucking bad. I'm so sorry. Okay. So, for wave 17, see? 17, okay. So here we build the Disciple here, which we later want to upgrade to Starcaller, but it's not the time yet. And then we take some more Golems and place them here. One of those we upgrade into, oh wait, Madmans, and one of them we upgrade into a Golem. Because the Golems are actually very, very, very good tanks for wave 17 in particular, because 17 is pierce damage, and the Golems have fortified armor, which is very, very efficient against pierce, and they also do impact damage, which is good against arcane, which happens to be the defense of the wave. So Golems are very powerful here, and the Phoenix is actually pretty damn shit, so we don't want to build more of those yet, and we need some Golems to survive here. So for wave 18, we build another Phoenix right here. And that it? I think that's it. Yeah, that's actually it. Okay, so that's what we do for 18. Then for wave 19, we upgrade this one into a star color so that the phoenixes also get the mana regeneration. And the Fire Lord, Fire Elemental, actually deals a little bit more damage. It's not that much, but I think I should still mention it because it also buffs the damage of the Fire Elemental because it boosts the spell damage by 15%. Wait, where is it? There. Yeah, okay. And oh, you also do this into a golem. So at this point you need lots of income to actually keep up with that. But yeah, that should be fine. So for wave 20 and 21, he actually did not post any pictures. But what you do is basically you just keep spamming more disciples. Yeah, like because disciples are very, very, very good in the late game, like especially for 21, because wave 21, as we know, is a scaling wave. So every time 21 spawns, like 21-1, 21-2, 21-3, it keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. It's the same wave, but it gets stronger. So what it and it gets like added defenses, so it takes less damage from your attacks and it gets more damage. And the disciples are so fucking good because, as I said before, they do pure damage with their spells, so that pierces through the defenses. So it does not matter if you're on like 21-1 or 21-5, the Disciple spell is still going to do 300 damage, which is why that is the unit that you want to spam. Also, it is ranged, so it does not get affected by the AoE. As opposed to Forsaken, which is very bad on 21 because of all these summonings and melee fighters. Element is actually very strong on 21. Because the cleave that the Legion Lord does is reduced to air targets, like flying units. So Phoenix, which is flying and is your front line, gets reduced damage. And the Disciples are in the back line, just sniping down the boss. So you kind of do it like this. And then, again, you place a Star Crawler in the middle. So this is what you want to be doing for 20 and 21. And the more the better. Those you do not upgrade because you already have the aura here. So yeah, that's just what you keep doing. You just keep spamming those, like you can do them here, I don't know. And just as many as you can. I mean, at this point, you don't want to be doing workers anymore anyway. So you just spam more disciples, and the more the better. You cannot have enough of those dudes. They are very, very, very good in the late game. Like this is huge as value. I don't know, I think this could easily hold up to 21-3. Maybe even 21-4. I don't even know, but yeah, this is what you do for 20 and 21. So you don't need more than those two phoenixes. They are perfectly fine. They are enough, and they are just to tank up some damage in the late game. And the disciples are your main damage at this point. So yeah, that's it. That's actually the guide. As I said before, this one is a lot shorter than the last one. I was not going to into too much details here. And I know I did not show you all the waves. I felt like it was not that necessary. Because in the last one, I actually made it. I showed you all the waves and what happens. And well then, on some occasions, I actually had cases where it suddenly leaked, even though I know that it does not leak normally. So I decided that this time I'm just not going to show you the waves, and I'm just going to show you the build, and then you figure it out yourself. As I said, this build is only a general guideline. You do not have to follow it exactly this way, like in this particular order. But what you should be following is the positioning, because the positioning is actually very good. So this is what you should be taking from the guide. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that it was helpful to you. And I think the next guide is most likely going to be about growth. And I also want to do a general guide about things like splitting, where I go into much more detail when to split, because that's actually something that many people have been asking me on my stream lately, like all the new players. They wanted to know, like, when do I split and why do I split, and with what units does it make sense to split and how does it work. So I'll be going into much more detail there. And yeah, but for now, this is it. So thank you all for watching, and goodbye.